All right. Our third lesson this week is on volume. Now, volume is how much space a three-dimensional object takes up, which is the area of like a three-dimensional shape. There are some formulas that we're going to talk about. So let's look at this. Now, technically, the formula for volume is the area of the base times the height. And if you guys remember from last year, if you had a three-dimensional shape, you had to really pay attention because the base may not always be the bottom. If the shape is turned on its side, then the base could be the front or the back. And then you had to remember the height wasn't always going up. It would be from basic shape to basic shape. However, in this lesson, everything is rectangular, like the size of a bookshelf, or you're dealing with drawers, or you're dealing with a desk or a suitcase or something. And so what you're going to need to do is length times width times height. That's what you need to have in your head when you start to work through the word problems this week. Let's look at this practice one, or example one. If you have a box of candy that is 8 inches long, 5 inches wide, and 2 inches tall, how much space do you have for candy? So I have a box of candy. Here's going to be my box here. It is 8 inches long, it is 5 inches wide, and is 2 inches tall. So I have my base, or length, times my width, times my height. And so all I have to do, length times width times height. 8 times 5 times 2. 8 times 5 times 2 gives me 80. Did I do that on my calculator? Yes. Could I have done that in my head? Yes, and I should have. But I didn't. Now, these are all dealing with inches. This is a three-dimensional shape. The inside space is a three-dimensional measurement. So it's going to be cubed. 80 inches cubed. All right, let's look at another one. All right, if you have a toy bin that is 60 feet, no, not 60, that'd be huge, 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, 3 feet high, how much space do you have for toys? Well, here is your length, width, height. Length times width times height. 6 times 4 times 3, that is 72 feet. Remember, it's three-dimensional, so cubed. So not super hard. Now, you may have some additional information given for some of these, like the one before when it talked about tiling floors. So you may have something like this with some added information, like if you have boxes of toys that are 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, how many of those could you fit in this? And you have to figure out that space and then figure it all out. So sometimes you're going to have to do a few more things like we did before. Let's look at one more. All right, this one has a lot in it. Let's read the whole thing first and then we'll dissect it. The size of the storage unit is 10 feet by 30 feet by 8 feet. What is the volume of the storage unit? Banker boxes are 10 by 12 by 5 inches. How many banker boxes could fit in the storage unit? Now here's the first thing we have to remember. We talked about this on another video. This is feet, this is inches. They have to be the same measurement since we're working with them together. So we need to convert all of these to inches. So 10 feet, there are 12 inches in a foot, so 10 times 12 is 120 inches. 30 feet, again, there are 12 inches in a foot, so 30 times 12 is 360 inches. 8 feet, 12 inches in a foot, 8 times 12 is 96 inches. Now that they're in the same measurements, I can start working through this. So length times width times height. So 120 times 360 times 96. It's not quite written, but you know what I mean. And this is a big number. 41. No, that's not where the comma goes. Let me get my eraser. There we go. It is 4147200. 4147200. So there we go. Inches cubed. So that is my storage unit. Mark that first. Then for my boxes, they're already in inches, so we just do length times width times height. 10 times 12 times 5 gives me 600 inches cubed. And what I'm asked to find is how many Banker boxes could fit in the storage unit. So I need to take the total amount of space, divide it by the 600 inches, and what I end up with is 6,912 boxes can fit in the space. All right? So pay attention to what your word problems are asking you. Make sure you solve every piece that's being asked and those that have more than one question being asked. All right? It's on Easy Test Maker. Link is where you got this.